You see this big wad of paper? You know what time it is. It is time to go through the Australian political parties' financial disclosures. I did it for the major parties, the ones we're all familiar with, and quick rundown of what's going on here. This is from the 2020-2021 financial year, and this has all been available to the public since the 1st of February 2022. Alright, these disclosures have Part 1A, 1B, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5. Part 4 and 5 are about debts, and Part 1, 2 and 3 are about the amount of payments and things like gifts in kind. And if you want to see the numbers, there you go. That's the numbers for the parties, for all the parts, put them together for you, because I'm not too interested in that, but there is something I want to discuss out of all of this. Alright, so what I want to discuss is the list of organisations in Part 2, and now it does say on the side whether it's a donation or other receipt, but I'm just going to read each name that appears at least once. Alright, we're going to start with the National Party. We've got Insurance Australia Group, Manildra Group of Companies, which is an agribusiness. We've got the Pharmacy Guild of Australia, which is a lobby group, Santoro Consulting, and then the National Automotive Leasing and Salary Packing Association, John McEwen House, National Policy Forum, and Laneway Assets. And quick note about the last three, I think they're all the same thing. Alright, now moving on to the next one. Alright, the Liberal National Party, AXCN Group, which is Chinese Investment and Education. Yeah, very interesting. Initiative Capital, which is venture capital. Zash Vin, that's real estate for farming and crops, I believe. MDH, which is Beef Pratt Holdings. Carty, I'm not sure what that one is. Classic Leisure, which is the timeshare. Volvo Group, you know, the car. Fiducia Property, which is real estate development. Q Scan Services, radiology. St. Baker Energy Innovations, which is fuel supply. Morgan's Financial, speaks for itself. East Coast Holdings, that's real estate. IOR Petroleum, speaks for itself. JJ Richards and Sons, that's waste management. You might have seen that on a dumpster or something around the place. Australian Country Choice, which is beef, I believe. Australian Agriculture Company, which is also beef, I think. Roy Gipsy and Son, which is outdoor power equipment. Roma Cattle, which is cattle. Coastwide Engineering, which is mechanical services. Delta Investment, which I'm not sure, I just imagine investments of some kind. Australian Secure Capital, which is also investments. KPMG, big accounting firm. Capital B, which is private equity. Boran Gowan Investments, imagine more investments. Wash It Australia, which is a truck wash company. National Retail Association, which is a not-for-profit, or imagine a lobbyist group of some kind. Epic Pharmacy Services, which I think is a pharmacy chain. Plymouth, I'm not sure. Quarry Minerals, which is mining, and Russell Mineral Equipment, which I would imagine is also mining. Interlock Technologies, computers. Central Queensland Tool Supply, imagine that'd be tools. Village Roadshow Limited, which is entertainment. Hyper One, which I think is a fiber network company, and Serena Russo, which I have made a video about before, and I encourage people to go watch it. Alright, and to quickly go back to the donation or other receipt, the Liberal National Party has a perfect example of, why I have an issue with this and how they set it up. Here you go. How can it be both? What is a donation and what is a other receipt? Alright, now moving on to the final party to make up the coalition, the Liberal Party. I'll try and get through this quickly because there's a lot here. Afterpay. AIA Australia, which is an insurance company. Amazon Commercial Services. Amgen Australia, which is biotechnology. ANZ Banking Group. APA Group, which is for gas pipelines. Asahi Beverages, the beer. The Australian Securities Exchange. ATECO Group, which is automotive importer. Ausgold Mining Group. AusPayNet, which is a self-regulatory body. So Automotive Dealers Association, which is a industry advocacy body. Federation of Travel Agents, which is another one, or we call them lobby groups. Finance Industry Association, another one. Pipeline and Gas Association, another lobbyist industry advocacy group. Blackmores, which are those health supplements. Blue Scope, Steel, BMS. Bristol Myers Squibb, which is a pharmaceutical company. Built, which is construction. Bupa, which is health insurance. Capital B, that private equity firm. Chamber Minerals and Energy, which is a representative body. Chubb Insurance. CMAX Advisory, which is consultants. Commonwealth Bank of Australia. Cornerstone Group, which is government relations consulting. Carlton United Breweries. Deloitte, which is another financial consultant. Devlaco Group, which is technology. Dragoman, which is advisory. Electro-Optic Service, which is defense aerospace. Eli Lilly, pharmaceuticals. Folkestone, which is real estate fund manager. Fortescue Metal Group, which is iron ore. Fox Special Projects. Calm down, it's only Lynn Fox, the truck people. No. Gilbert and Tobin, which is a law firm. Group Colleges, which is education and training. HCF, which is health insurance. Helios, which is pathology. Holdmark, which is property development. Home Consortium, which is property investment. Icon Holding Services, which is cancer treatment, according to my notes. Independent Educators. Intuit, which is financial software. Johnson & Johnson Pharmaceuticals. Kamna, which is like Afterpay. KPMG, the accounting firm. IFC Global Services, Logistics. Lion, the alcoholic beverages. Low Emissions Coal, need I say more. Macquarie Group Services, financial consultants. Mark Morgan Group, which is aged care development. Medibank Private, which is insurance. Medicines Australia, which is another lobbyist. Electronic Australis, which is medical devices. Metatron Group, which is apartments. Maydan Group, which is investments. Midas Touch Investments. Motor Traders Association, which they're calling Peak Body Representatives. MYOB Australia, which is accounting software. NAB, NAB, Bank, National Automotive Leasing and Salary Packing Association, Novartis, which is education, NEC, which is technology, Network 10, the Channel 10, Nexus Public Affairs, NIB Health Funds, which is insurance, Novartis Pharmaceuticals, Optus, Ord Minute, which is a capital marketing company, Pratt Holdings, which is packaging, Private Healthcare Australia, Peak Body Representative, Price Waterhouse Coopers, which is another accounting firm, Pine and Partners, which, to nobody's surprise, is what Christopher Pine is doing these days, Raytheon, Sanofi Ventus, which is pharmaceuticals, Santos, oil and gas, Sportsbet, Strang Internationals, which is freight forwarding, so logistics, I would imagine, Study Group, Swiss Wellness, which is more supplements, TAL Services, which is insurance, Tata Consulting, which is information technology, Telstra, the Adcock Group, which is hotel renovations, Transurban, which are toll roads, Visa, VMware, which is cloud computing sort of thing, Wesfarmers, which is a conglomerate, Westpac, the bank, WFN Motors, which is a dealership, Willard Consulting, which is a political consulting group, and the last one's Woodside Energy, which is petroleum, and WorkPack, which is another employment recruitment business. And that is everyone for the coalition. I should also mention that in these lists there are also names of people, but I'm not here to tell individuals how to spend their money, so I'm not mentioning them. I'm just mentioning businesses and organizations and such. And with that said, there's really nothing to list for the Greens, because they really only have donations from people and the estates of people, so dead people, they're left in people's wills. So I think there's nothing really wrong with that. A good discussion could be had on limits that are set for how much an individual could donate to a political party. Comment in the comment section below what you think an appropriate amount would be. Now, with that said, moving on to the last party, the one that is currently in power, Labour. Alright, we're going through the list for Labour. I recommend getting comfortable. I'll try and be as quick as I can. And whenever you hear me say peak body, that just means industry representative. Engineers Australia, that's a peak body. Google Australia, Housing Industry Association. INPEX, that's oil and gas exploration. John Connolly and Partners, that's public relations firm. Clenara, that's like Afterpay. Manufacturing Australia. Plenary Group Holdings, that's infrastructure. Ream Australia, you know, the hot water systems. Seven West Media, that's what Kerry Stokes owns, you know, Channel 7. Suncorp, that's insurance. Chamber for Minerals and Energy, that's another peak body. Coca-Cola. Central Coast Motor Group, that's a car dealer. CSL, that's biotechnology, known for making AstraZeneca. NGP Investments, that's another car dealer. Netflix. Peter Warren Automotives, another car dealer. Telstra. Parker and Partners, that's a public relations firm. Business Council, Cooperative and Mutuals, that's another peak body. Gold Valley, that's mine. Newgate Communications, that's strategic communications, my notes say. Facebook Australia. Association of Independent Schools, that's another peak body. Johnson & Johnson, pharmaceuticals. Austral Fisheries, which is obviously fish wholesales. Helios, that pathology. Shire Lawyers. Slater and Gordon Lawyers. Adarash Manufacturing. Delta Electricity. Intercontinental Energy, now that's green hydrogen. Lithium Australia, materials for batteries. Quintessential, which I just have equity written next to it. The Growth Execs, that's financial advice. West Orange Motors, another car dealership. Woolworths Group. Wormel Civil, that's a construction company. Ashuria People's Service, that's an employment agency. Dental Industry Association, that's a peak body. Trambaran Resources, that's gas. Charles Sturt Universities. Max Solutions, that's another employment agency. Willard Public Affairs, that's a political council group. Kongsberg's Defence and Aerospace. Chevron, gas, oil, hydrocarbons. TSA Group, that's call centres. Precision Public Affairs, that's Restaurants and Catering Industry Association, another representative. Jefferson's Investment, that's real estate. Aspen Medical, that's health services. Smart Energy is a industry body. Blackmore's, the supplements. Busy at Work, another employment agency. Diageo, which is alcohol beverages. Shed Enterprises, which is market counselling. Alistair Nicole Counselling, which is another public relations firm. And Alcada Strategies. Westpac Bank. National Automotive Leasing and Salary Packing Association. The Australian Securities Exchange. Wes Farmers, that conglomerate. ANZ Bank. Price Waterhouse Cooper Accounting. Australian Hotels Association, another peak body. Asahi Beer. Lion, also in beverages. Blue Scope Steel. Carlton United Breweries. Commonwealth Bank. Medicines Australia. Minerals Council of Australia. Mitchell Family Office, that's private equity and venture capital. Private Healthcare Australia, that's another peak body, that's a lobbyist group. Sportsbet. Woodside Energy, that's petroleum. Automotive Dealership Association. Tabcorp Holdings, that's gambling. Clubs Australia, representative body. Ramsay Healthcare, private hospitals. Santos, oil and gas. Star Entertainment Group, that's gambling. Australian Banking Association, that's the representative body. Bupa, private health. Spirits and Cocktails Australia, representative body. Federation of Travel Agents. Merck, Sharp and Dome, that's pharmaceuticals. Visa, Ampol, which is petroleum. Bristol Myers Squibb, which is pharmaceuticals. Jasson and Clark, which is another pharmaceutical company. KPMG, accounting. Macquarie Group Services, that's financial consultant. Novartis, which is education and Novartis, which is pharmaceuticals, Roche Products, which is more pharmaceuticals, Amazon Commercial Services, United Workers Union, Chiefly Research Center, Amgen, which is biotechnology, APT Management Services, which is mechanical, and Austral Limited, which is shipbuilding, Australian Airport Association, which is a peak body, Australian Computer Society, Australian Financial Industry Association, Australian Owned Contractors, Australian Pathology, and they're all representative bodies, peak bodies. Australian Payment Network, which is a regulatory company, Blackmores, the supplement, Bayer, Australia, more pharmaceuticals, Boehringer Ingham, which is more pharmaceuticals, CMAX Advisory, which is a think tank, Deloitte, which is another accounting firm, Eston and Young, which is another accounting firm, Federal Chamber Automotives, which is peak body, Fortescue Metal Group, which is iron ore, Genworth Construction, Giorgio Group, which is construction, Gilbert and Tobin, which is a law firm, Justice Service, Low Emissions Technology, Linfox Australia, Macquarie Telecom, Maurice Blackburn, Medibank Private, Morgan's Financial Advice, Nexus Public Affairs, Optus Real Estate Institute, St. Barker Energy Innovation, Study Group, TAL Insurance, Pharmacy Guild, which is a peak body, Viacom CBS, which is now Paramount, I believe, VMware, which is that cloud computing company, Sanofi Ventus, pharmaceuticals, Swiss Wellness, the supplements, Afterpay, Trucking Association, Independent Higher Education, Master Builders, Medtronic Australis, Pfizer, pharmaceutical, and SAB, software company, AstraZeneca, Fresh Produce Alliance, Sugar Milling Council, Commercial and Asset Finance Broker Association, Financial Service Council, Led Science, Jandakot Airport Holdings, Land Lease Group Services, that's construction, Responsible Wagering Australia, that's the peak body for gambling, Employers Mutual Management, AIA Australia, which is insurance, Haley Berry, which is an independent school, Motor Trades Association, Pacific Equity Partners, Perth Airport, AbbVie, which is a biotech company, Australian Forest Products Association, Bus Industry Confederation, Commercial Radio Australia, Free TV, Bank of Queensland, Biogen, Clean Energy Council, that's a peak body, ConocoPhillips, which is crude oil and natural gas, Cornwalls, which is a lawyer, Customer Owned Banking Association, which is an industry advisory, Mildra Group, the agribusiness, Advocacy, that's a peak body, CGM Communications, that's public affairs, Decimal Construction Engineering, Edwards Life Science, that's medical, Interwork Australia, that's employment, Star Scientific, that's research, product and development, Danius Group, which is food and beverage consultants, SAS Consulting Group, which is lobbyists, and I think I've got nuclear power here in my notes, BB Win-Win Outcomes, which is a media consultant, Cochlear, which is the hearing devices, EML Payments, which is IT services, Intuit, which is financial. Finally, We have APM, which is employment, AMP, which is financial services, IGA, which is the supermarket, IAG, which is insurance, HBF, which is health insurance, HCF, which is health insurance, NIB, which is health insurance, and NAB, which is National Bank of Australia. Alright, and to wrap this up, why do I do this is to remind everybody of the companies that our politicians are getting cozy with, because really they don't need these donations to win elections. Here in Australia we've got things pretty sorted with the way we vote, and the fact that parties with the least amount of revenue did fine, did great, where we had Clive Palmer spending millions of dollars to get exactly 0 seats. Alright, finally, the last point I want to make, the thing I want people to take away from all this is whoever's giving your political parties money, that's who's probably going to dictate the agenda of the political parties. And so if you have corporations giving money to both political parties, you see what I'm saying? In short, pretty much this. Thanks for watching.